Good afternoon, I'm Drew Holley with BIS Benefits. We're going to talk a little bit about what does an insurance broker do. BIS is an employee benefit advisor or broker, kind of interchangeable, and commercial insurance broker. Generally speaking, what does that mean? And what's the difference between maybe an agent or a broker? Not to sound too sarcastic, but what does your insurance broker do or not do? Depends on the one you hire. My biggest advice to anyone, whether it's personal insurance or commercial or group health or commercial health, just because you really like your broker does not necessarily make them competent. You really would want both. Especially corporate policies can get hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year. And so who you're hiring or not hiring can be a big deal. So when someone Googles, what does an insurance broker do? I'm like, well, what type of insurance? Auto, home, personal life, workers' comp, general liability, property, cyber, employee benefits, medical, dental, vision, life, disability. There are certain people that specialize in just portions of those. So that's a big deal. So that is the first question is, what type of insurance broker you are. And for those that are industry experts that are gonna comment on this, I'm really speaking to those that aren't in the industry so they can actually understand this. Because that's one of the frustrating things of this insurance is that people try to overcomplicate terminologies, sometimes just to maybe sound more sophisticated than they are. At BIS, we just wanna make it simple for you. So generally speaking, a broker should be able to broker multiple carriers, not just one. No offense to State Farm, but generally the agent you're dealing with at State Farm can only shop State Farm out. What's wrong with that? Well, if you really like State Farm's policies and you really like that agent, nothing's necessarily wrong with that. But if you don't like their renewal, they may not be able to go out in the market and look at Progressive or Hartford or Travelers, all these different carriers. So you could be limiting your option thinking your agent is shopping it. And so that's a big difference between an agent or broker. So especially for commercial policies, we would advise go with a broker representing multiple policies. So at a bare minimum, the insurance broker, whether it's health or workers' comp or liability or cyber, they're kind of an extension of those insurance carriers. And so they should have the ability to present you with a policy and explain effectively, this is what it covers, this is what it doesn't, and this is how much it's gonna cost you. But insurance, it can be very complicated. It's not as simple as maybe some personal lines coverage is easier to explain. There are some fine prints, kind of gotchas. The insurance industry might call it exclusions. It's kind of a fancy way of saying, if this happens, we're not going to pay. All right. And so if you have an insurance broker who you don't really know, or maybe you like, but you don't know the right questions to know if they're competent or not, don't be afraid to ask. How much of these policies do you write and does your company do? Because you could be licensed in workers' comp or property insurance if the building burns down, and sell health insurance on the side, but you're really maybe not an expert on one side or the other. So an insurance broker should help you shop, present quotes, present effectively. They should be able to advise. They should be able to help fight claims if the insurance carrier is not doing or going at the speed that you would want them to cover the claim or at least explain the claim. So those are some of the things an insurance broker should be doing or people within their company should be doing to help you to fight claims, get claims resolved. On the employee benefits side, it gets a lot even more complicated than that. Insurance brokers expected to do a lot more now than they were 20 years. They can help connect technology for open enrollment software, advise on payroll companies that can sync to your benefit plan. We often say we're in the logistic business just as much as the insurance on our employee benefit division. Again, corporate risk. Advising you on areas that you can save money on your workers' comp, maybe entering the state of Georgia's drug-free program. So there's a lot more that you could potentially do to save or get better coverage or best of both worlds, get both, depending on the insurance broker you hire. So I think the real estate industry makes this mistake a lot, and I see it too. Buying a personal home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make as an American. And oftentimes we use people we like or a family member that may not know what they're doing. And I'm not a real estate agent or broker, but that can happen a lot. You use your aunt, you use your cousin, you use someone that you knew, and maybe they only do one transaction a year. And the problem with that is it's a big financial risks that you're taking. And I would just encourage you with your corporate policy, does your insurance broker know what they're doing? A good question to ask is, how many clients does your agency have? How many do you have? How long have you been doing this? What resources do you have to help me fight claims? Do you proactively shop the insurance, or do I have to call you and ask you? There's a lot more to that. We'd love to discuss it with you. Feel free to reach out to us at bisbenefits.com.